It's your girl! Now we as Degenerates have all dipped our toes into various genres in the anime sphere, some of which we usually don't really like. Now one of those genres for me is the harem genre, and the reason for that is, I'm sure you can guess and probably most likely feel the same about. It's all pretty repetitive. It all usually has the same cliches, the same ecchi fan service. If you watch one of them, you've probably watched all of them. But there is one series that I have heard on the winds being a different type of harem, something that you can't easily predict and is done the right way. And when I first heard that, I was very skeptical. I truly did not believe it until I decided to give it a try. And that series for me is Highschool DxD. So I watched Highschool DxD when the anime first came out, I believe in 2012, 13, early 2000s, like years ago. And I'm not gonna lie, I really fucking hated it. It actually really deterred me from watching harem anime in general, but I've only watched one episode. And the reason I guess I was put off is because obviously what I think a lot of us were put off by it is it's very blatantly, it does not hide the titty. It does not hide the ecchi fan service. It's just literally the first fucking minute of the anime is like Rias walking around with her tits bouncing after like walking a centimeter nonstop at 50 miles per hour. God, they really did do that though. So anytime anybody told me that they liked Highschool DxD, I always argued with them, told them you have shit taste, you are terrible, get a job, watch some actual hentai. But I decided recently to just binge the manga. I didn't really watch the anime, and I read the first volume of the English translated official release light novel, and but I decided to binge the whole series. I binged some of the manga, I did not really binge the anime, and I binged the first volume of the new, just released, English translated light novel, which is, you know, the original source material where everything came from in this series, so I personally wanted to get a little sip of that. I can honestly kind of see what everybody's fucking talking about. But people kept going on and on about it. They kept talking about why it's such a great series and why it's such it's known as the best harem series of all time. And after hearing about it for so long, I just had to sit down and figure it out myself and find out if they're just chatting shit. So I did it, and shit, I guess they weren't lying. So if you guys don't know the premise of Highschool DxD, it's actually pretty simple, but also in reality kind of complicated, but the beginning's simple. So it's about this guy named Issei who wants a harem. You know, he's just like a pervy kid who weirdly fucking has circle jerks with his friends. Oh my god. They're fucking circle jerking right here. Guys don't do that. Guys don't do that. Until one day he's on a date with his girlfriend who ends up killing him, and then he is resurrected by his classmate Rias, who turns out to be a demon and also resurrected him as a demon who is her minion. And thus begins the premise that is Highschool DxD. She has a bunch of other minions, most of which are girls, and you know, it revolves around Issei kind of trying to protect them and trying to overcome all these obstacles. I'm not talking about the series in general, okay? I'm talking about the harem. So there are about 4 girls in this harem sphere. And when the series first begins, they seem like the sort of cliche initially. Like the sort of like, we have the ara bitch, we have the, you know, the ugu onisama kind of girl. We have the fucking lolikudere. But as time goes on, you start to realize that the girls aren't cliche. And that's just from the fact that they have more personality than an archetype can really fit into. For example, like the character Akino initially seems, you know, sort of like she just has a sort of big titty, big sister, MILF sort of vibe, nothing really to give to her besides her, you know, quirk of being a sadist. But as time goes on, you start to realize that she can get depressed. She can get very she has a terribly sad backstory. And she shows various emotions, so much different size of personality, that it's hard to just kind of see her as one individual type of anything. See, now normally with harem anime, of course, like, a girl can have a backstory, like, say, kudere, tsundere, but you never see different sorts of emotions or different types of something that could make you like see them as anything other than just a tsundere. And that's one of the things that makes the series, was one of the things that made me look at this series completely different than normal harems. And not just with one girl, but all of them. Each character had their own character developments that completely changes their character from the beginning into somebody almost completely different as the story goes on. And you seeing that kind of transformation with the main character as he's bringing out sort of the best bits of the character, he's also being able to witness the worst bits and still want to, you know, love them and treat them with respect. Now, normally in a harem anime, right, like the harem, the main protagonist, is a stupid piece of shit. He doesn't know that all these girls have crushes on him, and for fucking reason they do. There's no explanation as to why, and they just kind of all circle around him. But actually, with Highschool DxD, especially in the light novel, you can see sort of the charm that Issei has on these girls, and in reality, just how charming of a guy he really is. He isn't just some guy who, once again, is just circled by a bunch of girls, but is genuinely a great guy. Like, he puts everybody first before him. He puts the girls first before him, and say, like, if they have any trouble, or if they are sort of just literally in need of anything, he always jumps and puts them first above himself, always. And he is literally probably the only protagonist I've ever seen that is probably worthy of having a harem. Yeah, I said it! Fuck you, Kyosuke, you little piece of shit, little sister-loving piece of fuck! Fuck you, Makoto from School Days, though I guess you got what's coming. Fuck you, Kazuya, you stalker piece of shit! The only type of girl you'd get is fucking renting them, you pathetic piece of fucking utter shit who should go burn in hell messing with my bitch. And I guess seeing him constantly throughout the series really never put himself first, but it's always kind of revolving around trying to protect the girls and make them feel better. Like, for example, the girl Asia. She gets, spoiler alert, I guess it's like in the first few chapters, so it's not maybe like a giant spoiler. She is initially a nun, but gets transformed into a demon, and throughout the story has issues about, you know, being raised as a holy saint and just suddenly being turned into a demon and being very conflicted about it. And Issei, no matter what, throughout the whole entire story, is constantly just putting aside anything he wants to do to help her feel better. And of course, I'm not gonna lie, one of the bonuses to this beauty of a harem, this wondrous exception in our little bubble, is the amount of constant fucking titty. The fan service does not feel forced by any means. It is just glorious. It's just there. I mean, I'm not arguing. Put it in my hands. And they're always so supple and beautiful. I don't know how, it's just the amount. You'd think nipples, right, would be easy to just draw and they'd always look good, but something about just Highschool DxD's nipples just look like, they're good. And I don't know, it adds a little tang to this harem sundae that you really wouldn't be complete without a little coochie thrown into it. Especially after reading in the light novel, just kind of, I used to think obviously like harem and ecchi shit would not be adapted well into light novels, but sort of just like being able to read it and imagine just like, it adds a little sauce factor that you could not even comprehend. Especially now that the light novels for Highschool DxD are finally getting an official English translation by Yen Press. Bruh, we're going to, life is getting good, okay? And the story is constant, okay? The harem and everything, like, it's just, everything is, it's still going, okay? And there's various side stories, there's various other angles, and it's so impeccable that I truly understand now what the world means by how amazing this harem is. I've never read anything like it, and I think if you guys give it a try, you will also agree it's pretty good. Thank you to Yen Press and Bookwalker for sponsoring this video. This whole video wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Then, you know, make sure to check out the new translated light novel. All links in the description for Highschool DxD, including the light novel that was just released. Please use coupon code Sydsnap for 600 yen off your first purchase after making an account, and just check that shit out for the titty alone! And if you already know about Highschool DxD, then this is the perfect time to reread it! Especially for Akino, best girl. I live for that ada. So check that shit out, and I'll see you guys on the next time. Please take care of yourself. Bye. Bye.